back on the air. Well, I am, at least. Yep. We are. Don't hassle us, we're local. Well, I am. And we had 2 days off, thanks to the White Sox, who clinched their division. Congratulations to them. But yeah, we were off Tuesday, and then Wednesday it got rained out, and we had already planned on it being off, and so you guys got to listen to whatever ESPN normally puts on at noon or whatever else when it's not us. And then yesterday they had another game, and they had a doubleheader, actually. And we're off. We're on today. I am. Everyone's busy, and I get that. So I'm going to do my thing, and then I'm pretty sure a phone call around 12:30. Friend of the show, Adam's going to give me a call. He sent me an interesting text, and I want to talk about that text. He sent me a text yesterday. So I'm excited to talk to him about that and more, because he's always got some interesting questions and or insight into some of the things. We'll look at some gambling lines this weekend for the NFL, look a little bit at the Iowa Hawkeyes. They have a game this weekend against Colorado State. Last I saw, that line was at 23, and that seems about right. We'll talk a little bit how I was on KGYM in Cedar Rapids on Wednesday. Talked to them a little bit about the Iowa game. Talked about the Nebraska-Michigan State game, Iowa State game. Any other college games that I talked about? Notre Dame, Wisconsin. Any trends that I've seen or anything like that. So we'll get to that. But yeah, we're going to get to some big news also that came out yesterday from the University of Iowa. And heck, I'll start right with it. Yesterday, the University of Iowa had a media conference, and they announced that the University of Iowa is going to be the first Power 5 school to have women's wrestling. And it's a big deal. In 2020, NCAA gave the designation to women's wrestling as it was an emerging sport. And Gary Barta said that, now that it has momentum, it's something that, and the NCAA, it's something that's behind, that Iowa needs to get into it. And they should. At the high school level, there are 32 states who have sanctioned girls' high school championships. And in Iowa, if you guys, paid attention to the show long enough, the Iowa High School Coaches Association sponsored the championship, and it was officials as well, not just the coaches. So last year, more than 600 girls in the state of Iowa participated in high school wrestling. This is where I'm going to step in and talk in just a second, but like I mentioned, Iowa is the first Power 5 institution to add women's wrestling. They say they're going out to find a new head coach. They're going to begin the search this fall. Tom Brands was at the thing. He said he is basically going to be involved in the process, of course, because they're building a new facility, and they are going to have the best coach in the country coach them. No reason to not look too much further than Terry Steiner, who coaches the women's Olympic team. So, former Iowa wrestler. So, I mean, if you're going to get the best, why not bring them home? I don't know. Terry or Troy, the twins, for those of you back in the day who followed Iowa wrestling. All right. So, you follow the show, you follow me. I'll tell you my quick story. I'm a person growing up wrestling, love the sport. I mean, I truly love the sport. And I still was that person who, growing up, was like, it's for men, it's for boys. Like, women, they shouldn't be in it. I understand, and the best part about this is that I can admit my mistakes later on. It was about 4 years ago, about this time, that walking to school, my little daughter, who at the time was, 7, and she was in second grade, said, like, can I wrestle? I think I was talking to Ben at the time. He's my youngest, and I was telling him about wrestling seasons coming up or whatever else. I have no idea how, but she said, can I wrestle? And I was like, absolutely not. Pfft. She said, why not? You always said I can do whatever I want. I'm like, in this case, a different one. You're not wrestling. And then I was walking back, and I decided to call my buddy up in Cedar Falls, Dave Morgan, former state champion at New Hampton, wrestled Division I at Iowa State and UNI. And I said, would you let your daughters wrestle? And he said, well, they're not really into that sports type of stuff. But he said, yeah, I'd do it. And I was like, I told him the story. And he's like, Jay, there's girls-only tournaments if you're worried about that stuff. And I was like, really? And that's how dumb and naive I was to the growth of women's wrestling. So I spent a good portion of that day looking up stuff and looking up tournaments and whatnot. And the funny thing is, I came back, and it's after school. My daughter's getting ready to get her bike, and I'm like, hey, come here, I want to talk to you. She's like, okay. And I said, hey, our conversation about wrestling? She said, sure. I said, well, I changed my mind. You can wrestle. There's a lot of tournaments that I've looked up. I think it's a good idea. Let's start looking into getting you some wrestling shoes and everything else. And she just kind of shrugged her shoulders and said, I'll let you know. Well, that was great. She'll let me know. That's a lot of fun. So, long story short, she did wrestle a little bit, not for long, which is fine, but she tried it and decided it wasn't for her. But in between, I started to get to understand more of girls wrestling in the state of Iowa. And since then, it's, I've grown into becoming a fan of this. To be honest with you, I've had more state champion girl wrestlers on this show than I've had boys state championship wrestlers. We've had Tatum and Sydney Park. We've had Ella Schmidt on here as well. So I've been behind this. You've seen me wear the shirt that says Sanctioned Girls Wrestling. We've talked about that. And the thing is I'm part of like a Facebook group about Iowa Sanctioned Girls Wrestling. And there's a lot of posts on there like, I can't believe this. What's wrong with Iowa? What's wrong with Iowa? And I've always been like, hey, let's slow it down. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like, eventually it will happen. And I feel like I said the exact same thing when it came to women's college softball about how they need to change the facilities in Oklahoma City. And we saw what happened when the NCAA women's basketball tournament compared to the NCAA men's, the facilities that they had. And I just said, like, instead of screaming and yelling and typing in all caps, let's just be proactive and help the cause. But I did say all along that if the University of Iowa has women's wrestling before the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union sanctions wrestling, we have a problem in the state of Iowa. I just told you 32 states have high school championships. Iowa does not have one. The state of Iowa, where if you talk about wrestling to anybody in the United States, they'll say Iowa. Of course, there's Penn State involved there every once in a while. There's Ohio State and Oklahoma State, all right? But anybody, you say University of Iowa, they're going to talk about, they wrestle. Yeah, wrestling, okay. Anybody that travels for tournaments into the state, you talk to them at hotels or whatever else, and they talk to you about wrestling, and they're like, oh, yeah, from Iowa. And they're like, at least you know who your coach is. Like, what do you mean? Well, half the people in our state don't even, over half, 90% of the people in our state don't even know who our wrestling coach is. Say, that's a bummer. Everyone knows who Brands is. So that is a problem. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union need to do this immediately. There is no way at all that this should happen. So, I'm going to read you some quotes from the conference yesterday. This is from Brands talking about the program that he's going to put together. It says, we will not change how we run our program. Our program will be run the same. The women have their own practice times. The women will have their own head coach. The women will have their own structure. The women will run their program as they see fit. We will hire a coach. It will be the best coach in America. And look out, because when these steps start being taken, we're at the first steps here, but you look down at the natural next steps, and that next step is to hire a coach. It's going to be their program. The stakes are high for the new coach. We're going to wrestle the best competition in the United States. We're going to recruit unbelievable young talent that is already winning age group international championships and medals at the cadet and junior level. That's going to be our recruiting pool. Being the first is huge. Being the first is impactful. That's where we are at. We're not. We're behind. We're 32 states behind in sanctioning girls wrestling. The University of Iowa is, fast forward, it's the first Power 5 in, what are they doing in Boone or Altoona? Emergency meeting. Do it. Gary Barta was asked, how do you get Iowa high schools incorporated into having the sport? Gary Barta, Athletic Director Gary Barta responded, the Iowa High School Association has its rules about how many sports to sponsor. My understanding, it's not that far apart. It'll be up to them to get it officially sanctioned, and to that point, already just having 600 girls that are participating is a great start. Okay, so he's acknowledging, like, hey, I think it's coming. We don't know if it is or isn't. Tom Brands was asked. The question was, with the growth of high school wrestling for females over the last 3 years, how much help will that be for the program if the sport were sanctioned at the high school level? How much help would it help the University of Iowa if the Iowa High School Girls Athletic Union would do something about it? How much would it help? Tom Brands answers, I think in the state of Iowa, it's a no-brainer. I think so. I agree. Circle gets a square. He said, I know there are people in this room that are working hard. Let's not skirt the issue. There's a little squabble going on, and who's going to own it, which organization. Get over that squabble. You know what? Partner up. Let's get some common sense here and get a high school tournament for these girls. They've earned it enough, and they need it. I need it. Put in that new arena. Put it in that new arena over there. That's where I would go with that. Just do it. Let's get together and do it. That's exactly it. Who owns it? Does Des Moines get it? Does Iowa City get it? Who's going to get the money from the state tournament? It's ridiculous. I've sat on the fence and just been like, it'll happen. Everyone calm down. It'll happen. It'll happen. Now it's a must, an absolute must, that the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union sanctions this, and it needs to be done today. If anything, if they're doing anything at all, they're putting together an emergency meeting and getting it done. It doesn't make any sense. It's actually sad. For all this time standing behind Iowa high school sports and just being like, hey, you know, they'll do what's right, blah, blah, blah. You know, you laugh about things where it's got to be in Des Moines or the Des Moines schools are always in state championship, whatever else. But never before have I, like, really been like, this is ridiculous. Like, everything else I can kind of see and be like, yeah, I get it. You know, it's no big deal. But that's the first thing that's on the docket. This is one of those days where we're doing a little housekeeping before we get into the meat of the show. We'll talk to Adam about 12:30. We're going to look at some lines. I got to do my 150s. We've got betting trends to look at. Right now, the 43rd Ryder Cup has arrived. They started today. The U.S. and Europe are against each other, and they're on the shores of Lake Michigan up in Wisconsin. How this works, 12 golfers per team, battle for pride, and a 3-day, 28-match competition. Like I said, up in Wisconsin, that's Whistling Straits Golf Club. Each match is worth a point, so 14.5 points wins. A 14-14 tie would see the defending champion, that's Europe, retain the cup. Listen, you guys know I'm not big on golf or anything like that. This is my favorite golfing event. I like it. 3 years ago, I think, is when I was getting up early in the morning to watch them play golf over in Europe. Now I don't have to get up so early. It'll be 8 in the morning. So rounds are match play, so holes won rather than cumulative score is what matters. There's match types. There's four ball, 2-on-2, everyone plays the ball, best score wins a hole. There's foursomes, 2-on-2, teammates, alternate shots, and singles. Some things to pay attention to. Number 17 is a hole called Pinched Nerve. It's a par 3. This course was designed by Pete Dye, by the way, who likes to challenge golfers. There's a par 4 on the 18th. That's called Diabolical. D-Y-E-A-bolical. It's a par 4 18th. Team USA going into today was a minus 200 favorite, even though Europe has won 9 of the last 12 Ryder Cups. But Americans have won 3 of the past 5 on their home soil. Team USA has 12 players ranked in the top 21 of the World Golf Rankings, while Team Europe has only 4. One of the themes is order versus chaos. Europeans appear calm, cool, and collected, while the Americans have the Brooksy Bryson saga and the pressure of having a loss in 2018. Golfers usually compete as individuals, not on teams, but to help build chemistry, Captain Steve Stricker divided Team USA into 4-man pods this week and had them do everything together. That's pretty neat. I'm glad they did that. So pay attention, watch the Ryder Cup, have fun. You can do some gambling on it. Go to elitesportsbook.com, check it out. 9 days left in Major League Baseball, folks. And we've got some things to pay attention to. In the NL East, Atlanta's going for 4 straight division titles, but Philly's looking for its first since 2011. They do play each other next week. They have 3 games. Right now, the Braves are sitting at 80-71, while the Phillies are 79-74. NL West still hasn't been decided yet. Giants have a 1-game lead over the Dodgers. Whoever wins this one, whoever loses this has to go into a wild card game. Here's how the wild card's looking. The Cardinals have a 12-game winning streak. Right now, the wild card's looking at Dodgers, Cardinals. The American League, the wild card, the Sox and the Yankees begin a 3-game series tonight. New York is trailing Boston by 2 games for the top spot. In the wild card, Blue Jays are breathing down their necks. Red Sox are sitting at 88-65, Yankees 86-67, Blue Jays 85-68. Like I mentioned, White Sox have clinched the Central. Houston's magic number, I believe, is down to 3 in the West. And the Rays is down to, I think, 4 in the East. So 9 days left, and then we're going to have postseason baseball. And that's always a lot of fun. Love that stuff. But yeah, that's all the good stuff. Last night, my God, Houston, you have more than a problem. Carolina Panthers beat the Houston Texans 24-9. They improved to 3-0. It was an 8.5 spread. I hope you hammered it. I did. That was just a no-brainer. Unfortunately, though, in the second quarter, running back Christian McCaffrey, he went out. He pulled up lame on a run. He's got a hamstring injury. Before the show, got a notification he's going to be out for a few weeks. You're just like me. If you're looking at the sites, you probably did player props and you had Christian McCaffrey in there. So that you kind of lost all your winnings of the game if you had player props, because I thought for sure he would be in the category of 99 over 99 total yards, considering he just was on week 1, 75, and he went over 75 rushing, 75 receiving, and Saints are a better defense than the Texans. But he went out. But really, let's pay attention to what's going on with the Texans. 42 total rushing yards, like 185 passing yards. I didn't expect it much out of Davis Mills, but I expect more than 42 yards. Well, it was like 33 yards out of Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram second. And then David Johnson he didn't give you anything. So, it's just bad overall. It's really, really bad. So, again, Thursday Night Football we've had great primetime games. Finally, we had one that wasn't such a great primetime game. Sunday night, we've got Packers and 49ers. That should be a good one. I'm excited about that. Monday night, Eagles and the Cowboys. I think both of those are going to be good primetime games. So, but we are going to look ahead at some of those lines coming up soon. All right. First, we have to take a break here at Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. I'm going to give you the trivia question. It's an NFL trivia question. And it's got a little bit to do with the Bears for all the Bear fans out there. With Justin Fields starting Sunday, that's your Bear thing. That's about it. With Justin Fields starting Sunday, the NFL will have 4 rookie first-round QBs starting in Week 3 for just the second time this century. So once again, with Justin Fields starting Sunday, the NFL will have 4 rookie first-round QBs starting in Week 3 for just the second time this century. Who were the 4 QBs in 2012? So, 4 rookie first-round QBs starting in Week 3 is happening this week, and it's just the second time in this century. So last time it happened is in 2012. Who were the 4 first-round rookie starting quarterbacks in 2012? When we come back, I'll give you the answer. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local here on ESPN 1170.
You like that? You like that?
This is Brian Rothenberger, radio guy for the Quad City Storm. You are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Over the past few years, people in the Quad Cities have been buying online more and more. Now, since the pandemic hit, online sales have absolutely skyrocketed. Having an online presence was important before, but now it's an outright necessity. But don't worry, MyLocalCustomers.com is here to help. All you need to do is go to MyLocalCustomers.com to receive a free competitive analysis to see what Town Square Media can do for you. We'll help you find more local customers online and help grow your business faster. Town Square offers premium website services that get you new leads every day, plus a dedicated marketing specialist who will work with you the whole time, so you don't have to mess with updating a website. It's fast and easy with no contracts, so you can cancel at any time. Be one of the first to sign up and receive $500 in free advertising on ESPN 1170 AM. As a business owner, you know how hard it is to get people to cross a bridge to get to your business. These days, they don't need to. Find your customers and keep your customers. Go to MyLocalCustomers.com.
From lines of credit in Chicagoland to equipment finance loans in the Quad Cities to better cash flow in Milwaukee, First Midwest Bank is committed to using our local knowledge and ideas to help our clients get their business momentum back. Visit firstmidwest.com/commercial-lending. You have plans, we have ideas. First Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Let's just take that out of your mouth.
At Ping's Pre-K, the growing enrollment is no play date.
Toilet is not a closet. She needs more teachers certified in early childhood development.
Is it nap time yet? Lunch?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The first time ever, witness the thunder of the Monster Truck Nitro Tour. 7 p.m. October 2nd, Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. See incredible 10,000-pound car-crushing giants compete in racing, wheelie contests, and rock the house with amazing freestyle action. Plus the jet car meltdown, burning it down. Meet the drivers and see the trucks up close at the pre-event autograph pit party. A limited amount of $10 tickets are available. Get them before they're gone. Subject to service fees. Come early and ride in a real monster truck. Advanced discount tickets are available online at monstertrucktour.com or get them at the gate. For the first time ever, the Monster Truck Nitro Tour. The incredible monster truck spectacle you gotta see to believe. 7 p.m. October 2nd, Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. Feel the monster truck thunder.
I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz with the NFL Network now on Westwood One Radio Network. Sam Darnold and the Panthers are still perfect. Carolina improved to 3-0 with a 24-9 win over the Texans. Darnold now with back-to-back 300-yard games also ran for a pair of touchdowns. But there is concern in Carolina. Christian McCaffrey strained his hamstring early in the second quarter and was unable to return. Here's Darnold on his star running back.
We'll be all right, without him. Obviously, we want him back, but I want him to take his time right now and make sure he's good for the end of the season.
The Panthers also lost first-rounder J.C. Horn to a broken foot. Elsewhere, Tom Brady's personal trainer, Alex Guerrero, said Bill Belichick, quote, never evolved in how he treated the star QB, a factor that contributed to Brady's departure after 20 seasons in New England. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
My grand opening is tomorrow. Can I get custom posters printed today?
It's possible with Staples Connect.
I need to promote my new curbside pickup service.
Also possible. Staples Connect can help your business grow with custom printed sales and marketing materials. Now get 20% off signs, banners, or posters when you spend $75 or more. Explore what's new at your local Staples. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. Ends 10/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/signage for details.
This big noon Saturday on Fox, Notre Dame takes on Wisconsin live in Chicago. Former Badgers quarterback Jack Cohn leads the Irish into a Windy City showdown against Graham Mertz and Wisconsin. It all starts at 10 Eastern with the Big Noon Kickoff pregame crew live from Soldier Field, counting you down to the Big Noon Game of the Week. And then it's Notre Dame, Wisconsin. Saturday at noon Eastern on Fox, and watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app.
Inject a little energy into your workday. Turn on the sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Hi, this is Derek.
And this is Skip. We are the twins from Arbar Davenport.
And you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
On ESPN 1170 AM.
Friday, September 4th, 12:20, about to be 12:25 in the afternoon. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us for Local. Thanks to the twins there from the R-Bar. I want to remind you, R-Bar in Davenport is your destination for an upscale and sophisticated atmosphere. The R-Bar is located at 4907 Utica Ridge Road and prides itself on its fine wines and liquors, unique cocktails and martinis. From Busch Light to bougie, the R-Bar has something for everyone, which makes it a great fit for you and your friends. Have a drink, grab a bottle of wine to share, and watch a game. You can do all that at the R-Bar. Make sure to check out their Facebook for live music announcements, specials, and much more. And while you're there, make sure to like their page. See you tonight at the R-Bar in Davenport on Utica. Had those guys in on Monday. That was a lot of fun. I appreciate them always. And then, big deal, in a week. Make sure, you guys may have forgotten this, but next Friday night, Iowa actually plays on Friday Night Lights. They'll be at Maryland, which will be a big deal if Maryland can survive Kent State this week. Maryland will be undefeated, and if Iowa can survive Colorado State, they'll be undefeated as well. So Maryland's probably looking forward to that game. Trap game, if you're betting. if you want to take the points in Kent State. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But on Friday night at the R Bar, MPX is going to be there. They're going to have live music. I think Doug Brundy's is playing between 3 and 6. They'll have a food truck out there. It's going to be a big event. It's going to be awesome. So Friday night, circle your calendar for that. Go up to the R Bar in Davenport, 4907 Utica Ridge Road. And again, thanks to the Twins for coming out. Mentioning that Iowa, Colorado State, the line is 23.5. Majority of the money is on Iowa to cover that spread, and a lot of the percentage of the bets as well. So the money is on it, and so are the tickets. Basically, we're looking at just a little bit over 90% of the money is coming in on Iowa, and just under 90% of the tickets are coming in on Iowa to cover the spread. I would assume some of that, the reason why it's 13% of the tickets is there's some small amount of bets on Colorado State from those that are just, they have gambling allowed in Colorado. So you have to kind of have to look at those states and see why that is. I know there's been some talk about Michigan State, Nebraska, why that line is -5. Michigan State might be overinflated with those wins. I mean, good wins, but Miami was in the red zone twice and didn't put touchdowns on them against Michigan State. I don't want to take anything away from Michigan State, but I want to remind everybody, since 2003, these two schools have met 7 times. Nebraska is 6-1 against the spread against them, and they're 3-0 against the spread at Michigan State. So that's where your red flag is at, why that's at 5, if you're wondering if it's too good to be true. Over 80% of the money is coming in on Michigan State to cover that spread. There's other big ones out there. Iowa State and Baylor. Iowa State in 5 trips. 5 trips to Baylor since in the last 20 years. They are 2-3 against the spread against Baylor. The only time this line was similar, Iowa State did cover it. I think that was a 7.5, and that was 2018. So take a look at that. I don't think Iowa State was favored in that game, though. But Iowa State is 7-point favorite against Baylor. Baylor is undefeated, but they've beaten the likes of like Kansas, Texas State, and somebody else. So keep that in mind, too, when gambling. If there's any other ones out there that you want to look at, you want any input on anything, go ahead and hit me up. You can leave a message on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread, and I can give you some games. We will do NFL after I take a phone call. That should be coming up here soon. Tonight, you've got some games going on. Liberty and Syracuse, that's a big game. People are going to be gambling on that. Liberty's -6. It's an interesting one there at Syracuse. But majority of the money is going on them as well. So 4 games tonight that you can maybe make a little change tonight to go into your day on Saturday. So looking forward to that. Before we went to the first break, I talked a little bit about the announcement coming out of the University of Iowa, and that they are going to be the first Power 5 school to have women's wrestling. And really, the call to action is for the state of Iowa to sanction girls wrestling. More importantly, the Iowa High School Girls Athletic Union, is more importantly to do that. So I gave you a question before we went to break. The question was, with Justin Fields starting Sunday, the NFL will have 4 rookie first-round QBs starting in Week 3 for just the second time this century. It happened in 2012. Who were the 4 rookie first-round QBs starting in Week 3 in 2012? I don't know if you have any guesses. Here's what we got. Andrew Luck. RG3. Ryan Tannehill. And Brandon Weeden. Only Ryan Tannehill is still active. So those were your 4 first-round quarterbacks that were starters in Week 3. And that's what we're going to have on Sunday. And I do like that spoiler. I'll tell you later. I do like the Bears this week at +7. I like them a lot. They're going to fall into my 100s and my 150s section. That's I'll be doing a little bit later today. So after we take a phone call. So, and there's a phone call. All right. Hold on, everybody. Here we go. ESPN 1170, Don't Hassle So Local. Who we got?
You got Adam, and man, are you sounding exciting today?
I guess so. I don't know what's going on. I think at the beginning of it, I've just kind of, I've stayed so dormant about the women's wrestling program that it's just time to talk about it. And then, I don't know, I'm also excited to break down these trends, these Week 3 NFL betting trends, and make some money for the listeners out there. I have to have a big comeback because I had such a bad week last week in my 150s. So I've got to make some money up. So I'm excited to make up some money this week, I guess.
I say that's probably where the excitement's coming, is because you got the feeling, you got the bug, you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready to go, yeah. The worst part about it is I feel like I'm overlooking that Iowa game tomorrow.
Nah. I think Iowa might be too.
It's definitely a trap game. It's a trap game for them. It's a trap game for Maryland. There's no 100%. That's why I don't think the 23.5 is worth the bet.
No, not at all.
No, I don't think so. I mean, when Ferentz, let's see, in the last 15 games, when Ferentz has been favored at home by 20 or more points, he's 10-5 against the spread. So
really,
yeah, but I mean, I don't have an exact number like 22 or more, 23. I do know that trend is last 15 games at home, favored by 20 or more. He's 10-5 against the spread. So basically, it's telling you to take the points. But I couldn't find one where they're favored at home in non-conference by that much before going against in a conference game. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I think Maryland's in for. I do like Kent State in that situation quite a bit. Maryland's all hyped.
So do I.
They're waiting for Iowa to come in. They're thinking they're going to be undefeated and take down an undefeated Iowa team. Maryland's definitely going to be looking past Kent State. So.
Yeah, I've heard of other people saying the same thing about Kent State, is that they're just licking their chops right now. Like, yeah, come in overconfident. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think so. I think the running game is going to control a little bit of Maryland. And so, Adam, can we jump into the text that we had yesterday? Because I didn't get to share very much with you, but I want to talk about it because you led an interesting question. But originally, like, you texted me and said that, because I know Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee show on Tuesday. And I loved what he said, first things first, all right? I love that he came right out and said, listen, why do we listen to all this BS? Everyone's talking about me, but they don't know where my mental state is or what my focus is at. There's too many people that have a microphone, which I have right now, in front of me saying about, like, where's Aaron's focus at? And he's not focused, blah, blah, blah. And he's right. No one knows where his focus is or where his head is at. I enjoyed that. And he did say it used to be Monday morning was for overreaction and Friday was for prediction. He goes, now we just have that every day. Every day is overreaction day. But he went on to say something more. And
he went on. Yeah, he went on saying more about. He started talking about his hair a little bit.
Yeah, which was strange.
And I didn't know if that's where you were going with that or
I am.
Where
yes,
you're heading.
That's where I'm going with it.
So he was talking about, the question came up like, Aaron, tell us, what's going on with your hair, and he goes, I've been growing this out for a year, so he says, and he says, I'm doing this as a Halloween costume. And I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, man, that's dedication, like just for a Halloween costume. And I think you texted me back like, it's Halloween, like grow up. Like,
that's exactly what I wrote.
Thing I was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I thought too. And it's just like, and then he said that they were asking, can we ask what your costume's going to be? And he wouldn't let him know. He goes, no, I'm not going to let you know. I want it to be a surprise. And he said, I will tell you this much. It's based on a hero of mine who has long hair. And then that made me start thinking, like, how dedicated would I be to show my appreciation to a hero of mine? Not a family member, but like a sports hero. Let's just say Bo Jackson. He was a big hero of mine, growing up because he's multi-sport. Like, would I try to break a bat over my leg, every day of my life just to show my dedication to Bo Jackson? Probably not. But, like, it just made me think about that. And that's when I left that open-end question for you.
Okay, I want to unpack that in a second. I want to go back to my text to you when I said, it's Halloween, grow up. I strongly stand behind that. I really do. And I thought a lot about this morning, thinking about this phone call with you. I think it's fine if you want to dress up for Halloween. I think adults take it way too far. I don't know what it was like when I was younger. I don't remember my parents dressing up. I feel like the sitcom Roseanne always made a big deal about a Halloween episode, and then as we grow up watching that, the adults now think that that's what they're supposed to do, is have Halloween parties. Now, I know in college people dress up. You're kind of an adult in college, not really, but then you always have like a sexy nurse or sexy whatever else. I don't care. I never really cared for Halloween. I still don't. I don't really want to dress up for it, and I stand behind that text, grow up, it's Halloween. And I truly believe, and then I think we've gone to the wayside, but there used to be, way too many like Halloween costume contests at bars. I think that's kind of gone to the wayside. Maybe it was COVID. I don't know. Maybe we matured. I have no idea. But I'm not a big Halloween guy, period. And it's not that I'm afraid of things. That's not it. I just don't get it. And so I even thought about what I did when, like, right away in the summer after Lollapalooza, I was like, I'm going to dress up like 2021 Fred Durst. That's a great outfit. But then again, I reminded myself, I'm not going to Halloween parties because I'm an adult. And I don't want to go to Halloween parties. So then I was like, well, I'm just going to dress up my fourth grader, Ben, as Fred Durst. So I thought that'd be great. So I thought about that. Would I have to? He's not my hero, by the way. Would I have to? Would I have started to grow out my hair? When should I have done it? Blah, blah, blah. So then he goes on to say it's for a hero who has long hair. Listen, if you're worried, if you're saying people have overreactions, these talking heads, so to speak, that want to talk about every little thing you're doing, you just gave them everything more from Halloween weekend to not only talk about your play, but to paparazzi to go out there and get pictures of you with the, I forget his fiance's name or whatever else. Now you've asked paparazzi to follow you around for whatever you're doing for Halloween, just so everyone can break down who it is that, how much does he look like his hero and who his hero is. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's basically saying, like, 100%. Get out of my personal life, but he's like, hey, I'm not going to tell you who I'm dressing up as. You're just going to have to watch and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah. Stop it. Grow up. You're an adult. It's Halloween.
Yeah, that just brings me back to our conversation a while back about, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers switching roles. I mean, more and more of these antics that Aaron Rodgers are doing, the more and more I'm, like, losing respect for the guy. And, like, the more and more commercials Tom Brady's doing. I mean, he's even doing a Subway commercial now. The guy doesn't even eat bread. And I'm just kind of like, hey, this guy's kind of funny. I kind of like him. Like, he's got that one security commercial. I don't know if you've seen that yet, where he calls that bar in Boston and they're like, still hate you. And it's just like, yeah, thanks, bud. And then Giselle says, oh, did he say he still hated you? I mean, that's funny. Like, it's the roles have really reversed with him. And Aaron's just doing it to himself. And like you said, he's like, don't get in my business, but hey, come check out what I'm going to look like. It's like, okay, what are you getting at here? Make up your mind, man.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to pull up something real quick here. All right. Let's just don't get slow on me right now, computer. I want to look at something real quick since we're going to talk about it. And let's see. So Aaron Rodgers plays on Thursday night against the Cardinals in Arizona, okay? And then they got a bye week. So he's on a short week, and he's going to play Arizona. And so Friday morning, let's just say they lose that game. Friday morning, it's blah, blah, blah. The Cardinals did this and that. The Packers defense, not so good. Aaron Rodgers, blah, blah. On Monday, when these pictures come out, this is why Aaron Rodgers didn't win. He was too focused on getting the right article of clothing to look like his hero, blah, blah, blah. He's doing exactly what he said. Stop thinking about I'm not focused. But he's giving it to him. On Monday, they're going to be talking about his outfit, whatever he's dressed up as, and then say, yeah, that's why he lost on the road. That's exactly it. It's what's going to happen.
Yeah, they're just going to say his focus isn't on football no more. It's dressing up as this. It's hosting Jeopardy. It's this and that.
Then they go on a bye week, and then they go down to Kansas City, and they win, and guess what? Aaron Rodgers is back. Hey, everybody, and he'll be Tuesday on Pat McAfee show, and he'll go, I don't know why everyone was that big of a deal about my Halloween costume, because you made it a big deal, Aaron. That's why.
Yep.
Now,
I agree 100%.
It is a great question to go back to. What dedication would you do to honor your hero? I don't know. I don't think I'd dress up as him. Figure I would write something or whatever else. I don't know. Maybe pen a song about him. I do like yours for Bo Jackson. Break a bat over your knee every day. That's a tough one to do. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, okay. So now we get to find out who his hero is, and I don't know. This is going to be like a big play on whatever else. It's going to end up being like Thor or something stupid, and you'll be like, what? And he's like, yeah, he's always been my hero. because he got a hammer.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? What? That's your hero? Like, yeah. And like, got you guys. So it's crazy, but no, it is a good question though. Like, how far would you go to honor your hero? And
yeah,
either it's going to be.
Well, I might not break a bat over my leg every day. Maybe like on like All-Star Weekend, like I'll break a bat over my leg on All-Star Weekend just to dedicate it to him. But
would you
I gotta start working out more for that.
Yeah, would you take a photo with just football pads on and a bat over them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Of course. See, that's a good photo. Yeah. Now that would be a good one. And then just do it side by side of you and Bo. That's a good one. And then get your own 8x10, sign it, and send it to him. Like, here you go, Bo.
Yeah, if I could get a big head, just put it on the wall.
That'd be great.
Next to it.
That's a good. That's
Man,
all
I've got
right.
ideas now.
Yeah, a big head would be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check out Amazon after this.
Yeah, like if you could mimic their batting stance or whatever else, or like in mid swing, you did a perfect or you made it look like their baseball card. That'd be a good one.
Heck yeah! Hey, going with your talk about the female wrestling. Did you see the Jets are bringing that girl who scored the first touchdown in New Jersey history? A female who scored a touchdown is getting invited to the Jets game and sitting in one of the VIP boxes.
Oh, that's great. Good for them.
Yeah, they extended their hand out to her. I read that this morning.
They need all the good publicity they can get.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's Sam Darnold making them look like idiots.
Yeah, good for them. Yeah, and they're just doing it all. I think we talked about this on Monday. Zach Wilson's going to end up looking like the Sam Darnold 2.0, and Sam Darnold's looking like the Sam Darnold that he knew he was back in college. So, he ran for 2 touchdowns last night. Had a good game.
He was throwing dimes too, man. Some of those throws were ridiculous. How accurate they were.
Yeah, Texans are just awful. Let's see. He was 23 of 34 for 304 yards, and he ran for 2 touchdowns. And they also had a tight end rush for a touchdown, which was crazy. So yeah, Texans. It's really bad.
And then the fantasy owners out there of Christian McCaffrey, I hate to say it, but I told you so.
Yeah.
I didn't go after him.
No,
I knew that something like this was going to happen.
And the same thing with Saquon Barkley. I didn't like him either. It usually takes about 2 years to get only Adrian Peterson has really come back and been that crazy good. I mean, I know Phillip Rivers came back 1 year later, but he wasn't really known for his running. So, but Adrian Peterson came back from his ACL. It was good. I know it wasn't an ACL for Christian, but it went out like week 4, right? Last year?
Right.
And now he's out for a couple weeks. So, I feel like I myself and a buttload of people had him in on prop bets, and I feel like we all just jinxed him. We just should have known better. And I bet you there's so many people there because how bad that lineup is on DFS for a 1-game DFS. I bet you there's so many people that put him as captain and just stunk up the place. They just wasted their money on Thursday night. So, what games are you looking forward to this weekend?
Oh, I'm looking forward to Tampa's game. I think that's going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to Tom Brady going back to New England. That's the game I got circled. That's the game. That's like the must-see game I want to watch.
Okay, I want to ask you about that Tampa Rams game.
Okay.
So you mentioned Tom Brady. You like the way he kind of carried himself. I actually like the way he's carrying himself right now, too. 5 touchdown passes last weekend. He seems to be in control of this offense. He seems to like the offense. I know Antonio Brown's out, but he looks in control, whereas, the first 6 weeks or something like that, 7 weeks, they were the 5 seed, but they didn't have a winning record through the first 5 or 6 weeks last year. He's never played.
I think that shows a lot.
Yeah, go on.
I think that shows a lot, though, of how much time he had to prepare with the actual offense. Like a new offense, you didn't have any mini camps. You didn't have really any get-togethers until late the season pretty much started. I mean, I think that's perfect poster child, written down in perfect English. This is why they look like they did. Imagine them starting out the way they are now. I mean, they pretty much have the same exact team. So it's just showing you how much better they are when they had time to prepare. I don't think they would have lost to the Saints that very first game. Maybe they would have, but it would have been a lot closer. It would have been a game. It would have been a thriller. It wouldn't have been what it was.
Tom Brady, in his illustrious career, has never played in Los Angeles.
Oh, man, I would have lost that bet. I didn't know that.
He was a backup in the 1998 Rose Bowl. Brian Griese was the quarterback for Michigan. Other than that, he has not played a football game in L.A. I don't really know if that means anything. I really don't think it does. I do like the Rams this week, though, but I do think there's a factor in there that you mentioned. I think he wants to be undefeated going into that Patriots game. And that's something else. That's something to be said about Tom Brady. If he wants it, he's going to make it happen. The over-under at this game is set at 55, and I love it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a shootout. But I also got a question with the Rams pick. Do you think Stafford's going to be able to hold up to a good defense? I mean, he really hasn't seen one yet. And if they're going to live and die by the deep ball, I think Tampa's corners and safeties are a lot better than the competition they've played.
Well,
and
the Bears' defense isn't bad.
Harrison out, no, but with Harrison out, I mean, or hurt, we don't know if he's going to play yet or not.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have much for a running game. So let's just say you're not going to stack the box. You're going to put a nickel or dime every time.
I understand that, but Tampa Bay they haven't been running the ball very well this year so far. So
no, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
I just think Tom Brady can check down a lot better than Matt Stafford can, in my mind.
Yeah, I'm just trying.
Stafford's always going for the home run.
They're a weak side linebacker. I'm looking at the depth chart right now for the Buccaneers. Jason Pierre-Paul is out. Anthony Nelson will come in for him on defense. They're obviously their defense is good. I like Devin White, their left inside linebacker. But it's going to be a shootout, and there's no doubt about it. This is one that McVay wants to win, and I'm sure him and Stafford, when they're getting together, probably drinking tequila. We're talking about this game as well. So this one I don't feel comfortable betting, but if I have to bet every game, I am taking the home team here.
Because of the home?
Just because of the home. That's it. That's all. I'm just going to take the home dog points. But the most important thing, if I really was betting gun to head and they're like, you have to bet, I'd bet the over. The over 55.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
But
I see that.
I do. This is why this is the one game that you brought up. This is the one that I second guess over and over again, because every time I mention that Tom Brady wants to be 3-0 going into the New England game, that means the world to me more gambling. So I might even switch, because the Rams look at it and go, it's not a divisional game. We'll see them in the playoffs. It's really easy to do. And on top of it, I don't really know what the fan base is going to be like in L.A. That's, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they're over the top.
How many people are going to be there for Tom?
Yeah, exactly. So, but I just thought that was interesting. He's never played in L.A., but I don't really think that's a factor. Actually, I think the more I want to be 3-0 and go against the Patriots is more of a factor. And gosh, I'm going to have to think about this after the break. If I might switch. I don't want to switch that bet, though. I don't want to give up a dog.
So here's a prop bet for you. Do you think Belichick and him shake hands after that game?
They do, but I'm telling you, I don't appreciate Alex Guerrero coming out and saying about how Belichick treated him. I didn't like the planting of that. I don't like Alex Guerrero making a name and saying like, oh yeah, Belichick treated him like a 20-year-old kid. Did you see that yesterday?
Yeah, I seen that. I was going to bring that up. I agree 100%. If I was Tom Brady, I would be putting him in a headlock and flushing his head down the toilet right now, going, "Why are you talking?"
Yeah, it's the one thing. Like, just let it be, blah blah blah, and you don't speak for me type of thing. So, continue just running TB12 and all that other stuff that you have him do, or whatever else. Not eat bread. I don't know, but there's no need for it. And that's the type of thing that people are going to get. You know, if they can get Guerrero on, they're going to do it and have, they're going to ask him questions like, what do you think the breakup really was? And he laid it on to him. And unfortunately, that's, poster board material. And I do think they shake hands. I think that guy Alex Guerrero is out of bounds. And I really wish if anything, it just came next week, because I don't think it should overshadow what a great game that Buccaneers-Rams game is going to be. And right now, that's going to be brought up within the first quarter, whoever's calling that game.
Oh, for sure. And did you? I heard you guys talking about your hosts from Manning Night Football.
Yeah.
And did you? What do you think about Gronk being on there? I thought that was kind of good.
He was good, but then there was that time when they were like, okay, Gronk. Like he was. I don't know if it was. I want to give him like a little bit of leeway and be like, okay, maybe his headphones he wasn't getting any of the information. Sometimes he was just really slow to the answer, or he just didn't really comment. And then he had to come out and say like, no, it's not true. I watch a lot of tape, because he told him like, I don't. He's like, I don't watch tape. I just run past the guys. And then everybody came out and they're like, he doesn't prepare. And he's like, actually, I do. But I think. It's funny because we said we wanted to see Brett Favre. We said we wanted to see Pat McAfee. They're both on there. McAfee was great. I tell you what, Cutler needs to be on there 100%.
Oh, my God.
And I think he's my guy, because I think he made his statement for it. So McAfee is kind of calling out Manning. They're making fun of his big head. And then they're talking about something. And then McAfee says, when was the last time you ran a 40, Peyton? And then Peyton goes into the whole thing like, well, when I was in college, I did it once. I ran a 4.4. And that's when Cutler comes in on Twitter, and he's like, Manning, you've never seen a 4.4. And right away, I'm like, Cutler needs to be on. He needs to be on this, because I think Smoking Jay would just be incredible. And just to have him break down some of the stuff. And I think he's a unpolished gem, to be honest with you, of a show like this, where it's not so structured and, producers are having you break everything down. I think he would be great for the Manning Night Football.
Oh, for sure. Did you break down the numbers for everybody about what we talked about, like how ESPN just like grasped everybody on Monday night now, like even the people that weren't going to watch?
What do you mean?
We were texting back and forth about the number of viewers that were there.
Yeah.
And on ABC to ESPN to ESPN2.
Yeah.
And how obviously ABC had more, but ESPN pretty much cornered the market for watching TV that day.
Yes, the Disney Channel, they took over. They got. I know we said that when they added Manning Night Football, which, by the way, are we the only one calling it? Because it should be called that.
It should be.
Yeah, when they added Manning Night Football, they said they expected to increase by 3 to 5%, and then when you sent me the numbers and I did the math, I'm like, they're just a ride hovering around 5.5% increase of viewers. So it worked out for them, and I'm sure it's only going to get better.
Especially with the different viewers, the different co-hosts they get in with them. Oh yeah.
Now what I'm
going with the back and forth.
What we need to be paying attention to is that thing about when Manning was in contract negotiations for other places to maybe be a play-by-play or analyst or color guy. He said he never wanted to do any of his brother's games, and he didn't want to do a Tom Brady game. And they're only doing 10 out of 18 weeks. So we need to be paying attention to what games they're not doing. And we got to figure out why he doesn't want to do a Tom Brady game.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting when he's not there to see it, when they're not there to see the numbers go up or down.
Yeah. So another thing is I think it was Troy, or maybe it was even you, predicted this run from the Cardinals. You said they always find a way to get in the back door to the playoffs.
Yeah.
How about that 12 wins?
It's great. Good for them. It's good. I want the Midwest to have something like this. I think it's fantastic. It's been a quiet 12 wins, to be honest with you. So it's one of those things like maybe you just don't talk during no-hitter, because I don't see like Cardinal fans all over the place on social media or anything like that. So I hope they make the run, and I hope they do well. I think it's great it's good for us in the Midwest, to be honest with you.
Oh, for sure. And I'll be honest with you, I was at that Illinois-Maryland game, and that was probably the best crowd I've seen in the last, 8 or 9 years. Even when we would play an Ohio State team or someone good that would come through, we wouldn't see the crowd in the student sections like we did. And I'm hoping, as much as I dislike the guy, I'm hoping Brett Bielema brings some more fire to Illinois. I know you guys don't like talking about Illinois too much, but I'm hoping that we get some fire in our belly and start becoming a contender in Big Ten.
Yeah, well, listen to me. We will change that. I'm a Bielema fan, so not a fan of what he did in Wisconsin, but I am a Bielema fan. And I was actually talking to Huggy about this. He's an Illinois fan the other day, and I was like, yes, we'll talk more about Illinois, because I like Bielema and I like what he's doing. I agree with you. Hey, listen, I got to let you go. I have to take a hard break.
Yep.
Thank you so much for
Yep,
the
not
phone
a
call. I
problem.
appreciate you, man. Take care.
Yeah, not a problem. Have a good day.
Yep. All right. ESPN 1170 AM. We got to take a break here.
And burning, snapping necks, and cashing
You
checks.
like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
Hey, this is Dorf with Dancing with the QC Stars. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
When you open an essential business checking account at First Midwest Bank, you'll earn a $500 bonus. But that's not all. You'll also have your own local banker who knows your business. A $500 bonus plus a local bank to help you succeed. That's banking with momentum. Visit a First Midwest branch to open an essential business checking account by November 30th, 2021. $100 minimum deposit to open. Available to businesses located in Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Must complete all bonus requirements to be eligible. Details available at firstmidwest.com/smallbiz, member FDIC.
Become a weekend warrior at BetMGM. King of the Weekend is a free-to-play challenge where you can win up to $50,000 for correctly picking the highest scoring pro football teams during the weekend. Simply log into your account and find the King of the Weekend contest in your promotions section. Then pick the 6 teams you think will score the most points from selected games. $1,000 will go to the top entry each week, and if you guess all 6 in the right order, the grand prize of $50,000 could be yours. Plus, hundreds of dollars in free bets will be awarded to players who come close to a perfect score. Go to your account and try the King of the Weekend free-to-play game. New to BetMGM? Download the app today and make weekend football even better. Only at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 or older, Iowa only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand?
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike 3.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot!
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
Fall deals are going on now at Tyson's. Get a head start on next spring with savings on fall bulbs, plus save on a variety of 8-inch and 12-inch mums. It's never too soon to start decorating for fall. Check out our selection of locally grown mums, all sizes on sale now. It won't be long until the leaves start falling. Save now on our Trooper 30-inch rake. All of these hot deals and more going on now through September 26th. Shop in-store or online today at Tysons.com. Tysons, home, farm, auto.
The pitch is moving up a day.
Antonio's animation studio needs a 3D designer today.
What are we going to do?
Someone who's as artistic as they are organized.
How are we going to get all this done? What about the production schedule?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Screen for quality candidates with the skills your role needs with Indeed assessments. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
An Iowan makes television history. More from the Iowa Almanac in a moment. The Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver increased soybean demand, farmer-led production research, and timely information to improve decision-making. Producers, put the checkoff to work for you at iasoybeans.com. That's iasoybeans.com. This message brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soybean Checkoff. People in Dakota City, Iowa said he got his strong vocabulary from his mother, who taught him to read before he started school. Harry Reisner used those skills throughout his life, beginning his journalism career while a high school student in Minneapolis. He started in radio after the Second World War and soon moved to the new field of television. Reisner was one of the early faces on the screen who helped invent television news. On September 24, 1968, his was the first voice heard on a new program, one which would revolutionize television.
Good evening. This is 60 Minutes. It's a kind of a magazine for television.
Once the program found a home on the Sunday night CBS schedule, 60 Minutes became the top-rated program of any kind in the country and invented the television magazine show format. Reisner was restless, though, and left CBS News in 1970 for the chance to co-anchor the ABC Evening News. Reisner later returned to CBS and 60 Minutes, where he finished his career.
That's the news. I'm Harry Reisner. Good night.
Iowa native Harry Reisner co-anchored the first 60 Minutes broadcast on CBS on this date in 1968. And that's Iowa Almanac for September 24th. I'm Jeff Stein.
From the Vegas Gaming Cafe, this is the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB Davenport, a town square media station.
Hi, this is Derek.
And this is Skip. We are the twins from Bar Davenport.
And you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
On ESPN 1170 AM.
All right. Just going into the second hour here on ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us, we're local. Don't hassle me, we're local. Friday, September 24th, 2021. Just saw a text message. And just to let you guys know that there's football games out tonight, the high school ones or whatever else. You can watch the Davenport North at Pleasant Valley game. They do have a link for that. It's on the NFHSnetwork.com if you want to watch that game. Good for Pleasant Valley for getting into 2021 and finally streaming something better than just a Facebook. I'm proud of you. And then also our friends from QC Sportsnet are not being allowed to cover the Bettendorf Davenport Central game at Davenport Central. We don't know the reasons why, but they did put this on Twitter. It said, Bettendorf fans, it greatly saddens us to announce that Davenport Central will not let us do our planned live play-by-play of Friday's games versus Bulldogs. Despite our best efforts to work something out, Central is refusing to allow any broadcasters to carry its home games. All right, let me give you a quick background. It is not without any effort from the media trying to streamline these games for you guys. So it's not like this is with this equipment, and I've done games before at Bettendorf. It's not like we haven't reached out to schools, athletic directors, and said, we want to get this out there. The majority of the time, the pushback is this. We don't want to streamline it because the gate is too important to us. Keep that in mind. The gate is too important. Not highlighting student athletes so that their grandparents who live in Arizona or Florida, or maybe their relatives who are stationed overseas or live overseas, that they can watch them. Let's highlight these student athletes. The gate is too important that maybe the people that live in the Quad Cities will stay at home and watch it on their phones or their computers if we stream it. It doesn't happen that way. There's no athletic director that can actually show the numbers that say, like, yes, it has gone down because of streaming. It's not true. It is 100% not true. And the fact that now Davenport Central is saying they're not allowing any broadcasters, it doesn't make any sense. You can only highlight your program by doing this. Reach out to your athletic directors. Reach out to somebody, administrator, and find out why your aunt or your kids, your student athlete can't, their aunts and uncles, their grandparents can't watch online. And if they tell you that no one's reached out to us, it's not true. It is not true. I myself have sat in, this was 3 years ago. I sat in a meeting with all the MAC athletic directors and explained to them streaming is the way of the future. This was before COVID. I said, it's coming. This is what I got back. I was in a meeting with the Mississippi Athletic Conference athletic directors. It was in Eldridge. The response I got back was, well, in our Constitution, we don't allow live television. My response, you're not live television. This is streaming. It's on the internet. So your Constitution, although archaic, really doesn't hold up into this. And they said, well, it is. And I said, well, what's that stopping anybody, let's just say at a wrestling meet, putting their camera out there and Facebook Living that's on the match that's going on? And they said, it's not. I said, how is this any different? Well, it is. I said, how? They said, it just is. I said, but it's not. That was in January of... January 2019. By April 2019, They had changed the Constitution. They allow streaming. Now they just act like it's just a burden. That no. No one. I have never gone to an athletic director and said, "You need to pay me this amount of money. I'm going to do this for you." Now the NFHS that Pleasant Valley's using, that North Scott uses, you're going to have to pay to watch that. You're going to have to pay some type of online streaming service, whatever else. I never said that to anybody. I was told you're going to have to do it for free, and I happily did it last year. But even when I tried to another school, not just I'm telling you, I did Bettendorf last year. Nothing has come about this year, which is fine. Wait till the temperature drops a little bit, or the attendance drops a little bit at Bettendorf. Look at the record; it's going to happen. When the attendance drops and the temperature drops, someone's going to come knocking and say, "Hey, where are you going to streamline this game?" I don't know. I actually approached another school on the Iowa side. Same thing. Run up the ladder through the boosters. Athletic director killed it. Nah. Too much for the gate. So that's the text I got. I did not plan on talking about that very much, but I did anyway because it's frustrating to me because we're in one. We have school board meetings that are talking about mask mandates because we're worried about putting people together. But the thing is now we have administrators that are saying, no. We want large groups of people to go to our football games. We don't want them to stay at home. Like, figure that out. I don't care where you stand on the mask mandate. I really don't. But you can't have that hypocrisy of, okay, well, we want to have masks on because we don't want to spread anything. But at sporting events, and that's what it is in Iowa, you don't have to wear them at sporting events. At Davenport, the Bettendorf one got tabled. But in sporting events, you don't have to have them. And we want people to come to these things. We want multiple people to come. And we're not even going to taper off different sections like every other row or anything like that, which is dumb. But we want you to come. But at school, we don't want to. Think about that. Think about that you can't hear this game or watch a game because they care about the gate. But when school's actually in session, from your 7:30 to contract time 4 o'clock, they want masks because they're worried about COVID. But now they don't care about it at night. This is why none of it makes sense. Yeah, ask an administrator. Ask them what's going on, and they'll tell you. No one approached us. It's not true. It is 100% not true. And any athletic director worth anything at all, knows how to pick up a phone and say, like, hey, how come you never asked us? We'd like to do this. Can you do this? We saw you streamline. What happened? But they'll allow NFHS. By the way, that's the same company that had those guys down in Oklahoma that called that game and said a lot of bad things last year during the basketball season. So they'll put anybody on a mic there or whatever else. They don't care. Or sometimes they don't even have anything. Then if they don't even, I think it just follows the ball around when it comes to like volleyball or whatever else. Maybe they don't even have anyone call it. But that being said, your administrators are just downright lying to you if they say like no one wants to do it. And if I'm a central parent, find out why they're not allowing broadcasters. Because in the end, if you're not doing this to focus on the student athletes, then you're doing it wrong. That's the only thing I brought to the table over this whole thing. I didn't say I'm going to make a dime. I didn't say I'm going to go to X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to sell sponsorships. I just said we're focusing on the student athletes. And every time, like, yeah, we get it. But you guys do with what you want. It's annoying. I'm sorry to go on that rant, but I hate getting a text like that and that they're turning it down and saying like they're not allowing anything. So get with it. All right. Week 3 is upon us. We're going to look at trends, and then I'm going to give you my 150s. Trends make friends, gambling friends. All right, first game on the docket, we got the Arizona Cardinals at -7.5 at Jacksonville. The over-under's at 51.5. Arizona Cardinals have scored 72 points in 2 games. The Jaguars have allowed 60 points in 2 games. That's why the spread is as high as it is. Unfortunately, though, the Cardinals won but failed to cover last week against Minnesota as the Vikings missed a game-winning field goal at the buzzer. Jacksonville is 0-2 and has lost by double digits to both Houston, and that was with Tyrod Taylor, keep that in mind, but still Houston, and Denver. Some trends to look at. Arizona's 9-6 against the spread in the last 15 games against the team allowing more than 24.5 points. The Cardinals are 10-5 against the spread in their last 15 games with travel of 1,000 or more miles. The Cardinals are just 3-8 against the spread in their last 11 games overall. The under is a hefty 6-0 in Arizona's last 6 as a road favorite, and the under is also 9-0 in Arizona's last 9 road games against a QB with 5 or fewer career starts. Let's take a look at the trends for the Jags. The Jags are 11-38-1 against the spread in their last 50 games against an NFC opponent. That's not good. That's 3-1. That's over 3-1 that they don't cover spread. There's also 2-3 against the spread at home in their last 15 games against the NFC. Jacksonville is 1-5 against the spread in the last 6 overall. The over is 7-0 in Jacksonville's last 7 games against the NFC West, which contradicts about the under in Arizona. And the over is also a 15-3 in Jacksonville's last 18 games against an opponent traveling at least 1,500 miles. Stay away from the over-under because those contradict each other. I'm going to do my 150s along with this. I know I said I'd do it after, but why not just go right along and let you guys know? This is where I make myself, where I say I'm going to put a wager on every single one of these games. If I like it, it's probably 100. If I'm just forced to bet it, which I am, I'm probably going to put 50. I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals on the road at -7.5. The road favorite, 50. I'm just going to keep betting against the Jags from here on out. I don't know when they're going to get enough to go the other way. Yep, Arizona -50. I mean -7.5 for 50. All right, the Colts at Tennessee Titans. Well, don't really know too much about Carson Wentz in this. Right now, we got this at Tennessee. You can either get it at 5 or 6. It's bouncing all around. Let me see where our friends from Elite Sportsbook have it. Let's see here. Okay, -5.5. So it's somewhere anywhere there at 5.5. You can get it at 6. You can get it at 5. It's bouncing all over the place. It's going to be bet up to 6 because depending on if Carson Wentz is out, and it sounds like the Colts are preparing to go with Brett Hundley, also known as Wrong Brett, from his days when he was at the Packers. So it sounds like the Colts are preparing to go with him instead of regular backup Jacob Eason. Colts are looking to avoid a 0-3 start, which historically has hindered a team's ability to make the playoffs. Since 2002, one team that started 0-3 has made the playoffs. Only one team has. So there's a lot of pressure on the shorthanded Colts this week, and that pressure is the one that's pushing that lineup probably to -6. Indianapolis did cover for some and push for others last week against the Rams after not covering week 1. The Titans won outright in upset fashion with the Seahawks to move to 1-1 against the spread and straight up after losing badly to Arizona in week 1. Indianapolis is 8-1 against the spread, playing a team that went to overtime in its previous game. Yeah, I don't care about that. The Colts are 18-6-1 against the spread in road games against a defense allowing more than 26.5 points per game. The over is 6-1 in Indianapolis' last 7 road games and 8-2 in the last 10 road games against AFC opponents. On the other side, the Titans are just 5-8-2 against the spread in their last 15 home games after a win by 3 or fewer. Tennessee is 19-31 against the spread in the last 50 games with the team a losing record. And the over is 7-0-1 in Tennessee's last 8 following an against the spread win. I don't like the over here. I do like the Titans. I'm taking Titans for 100 at I got it at -5 on my sheet, and I have to go with what my sheet says here, not with our friends at Elite Sportsbook. So I'm taking the Titans -5 at home against the shorthanded Colts for 100. All right, next game, Baltimore Ravens at Detroit Lions. Boy, oh boy. Hammer this one, folks. This is the type of game that Lamar Jackson loves to run on. The Ravens, historically, under Lamar Jackson, have beaten up on bad teams. Sorry, Lions fans, they're a bad team. And this Lions defense coordinator, Wink Martindale, is going to give fits to Jared Goff. If you paid attention to last week's game, the Lions were in it against the Packers in the first half. They started sending blitzes in the second half. Jared Goff couldn't handle it. Wink Martindale loves to send blitzes from everybody, including his grandma. So Jared Goff's going to be running for his life in this game. The Ravens are 17-8-2 against the spread in their last 27 road games against a defensive team allowing more than 24.5 points. After a close win of 3 or fewer points, the Ravens are 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 road games. The Ravens are 16-7-2 in their last 25 Sunday games. Baltimore is 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games overall. Detroit is 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 games in September. The Lions are 14-21 against the spread in their last 36 games after a straight-up loss. The Lions are also 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games as an underdog. I'm hammering the Ravens. I'm telling you to as well. Get it at 8 while you can. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens for 100. Washington football game at Buffalo Bills. This is going to be the you thought Josh Allen was out game. You thought the Bills were an interesting pick. They're going to come out firing now. Washington does have 10 days rest because they played on Thursday Night Football and they went toe-to-toe, so they got the extra rest factor. The football team has failed to cover in both of their games, but sit 1-1 in the standings. The Bills covered last week against the Dolphins after losing outright as a favorite in Week 1 to the Steelers. They won 35-0 last week, but it was doesn't really tell you too much about how dominant they were. Buffalo is 10-3 against the spread in the last 13 games, including 6-2 in the last 8 as a favorite. The Bills are just 16-17 against the spread in the last 23 home games after playing Miami, however. The Bills are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games against the NFC. Washington football is 3-1 against the spread with a rest advantage the last 4 times that has happened. It's interesting. The Washington football team is just 1-4 against the spread in its last 5 games, but 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 as an underdog. I think the Bills come out here, and they come out proving something that they're still a team. I got it at -7.5. I got the Bills for 100. The Saints go to the Patriots. Tale of 2 different teams here. Saints have played 1 great game and 1 poor game. They had a win and a cover against Green Bay in Week 1 and then a loss to the Panthers in Week 2. We'll have to see which version you get of famous Jameis in this one. Mac Jones has looked good. McCorkle for the Patriots, even though New England is just 1-1 straight up against the spread and against the spread. The line was a pick-em prior to last week's results, so an adjustment plus some respected money seems to be backing Belichick in this. Some trends we're looking at: the Saints are 9-4 against the spread in their last 13 games and 5-2 against the spread in their last 7, following a straight-up loss. New Orleans is 10-5 against the spread in the last 15 games with at least 1,000 miles of travel. And the Saints are also 10-5 against the spread in their last 15 against AFC East, and 5-2 of those games are on the road. New Orleans is on a 5-0 run to the under, and the Saints are 5-2 in the under in the last 7 road games. Patriots are only 3-7-1 against the spread in the last 11 games as a home favorite. Ugh, I do not like this game. They're just 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 as a favorite overall. New England is on a 28-11-3 run as a home favorite or 7 or fewer points. The Patriots are 8-2 to the under in their last home games. We're looking at hammering the under here in this game. God, I hate this game. I got to go with recency bias. I'm taking the Patriots for 50 -3. I'm telling you, and I reluctantly do it. Moving on to the Chargers at Kansas City. I got Kansas City at -7. Or 6.5. You can find it too, depending where you're at. It's 7 on it. Friends from Elite Sportsbook. In my sheet, I have it 6.5. Another one I have it at 7. So this line actually moved up to a full 7 on Thursday. Kansas City is not good at covering the spread at all. They're sitting at 1-1 straight up with the winner of the Browns and loss to Baltimore. They have not. I think they've covered once since Week 9 of 2020. So they're 1-11. But everyone loves to bet the Chiefs. Spoiler, I'm betting the Chargers. I'm taking the 7. Chargers are 4-1-1 against the spread their last 6 games against Kansas City. Chargers are also 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games and 7-3 against the spread the last 11 road games. The Chiefs are 2-10 against the spread as their last 12 games as a favorite. Kansas City is also 1-8 against the spread in the last 9 games after playing Baltimore. In a revenge spot, meaning after a loss, the Chiefs are 5-1-1 against the spread in the last 7 games in that role. That's the only thing that keeps me guessing, but they don't have a strong running game, and they don't have a very good defense. The over is 4-1 in Kansas City's last 5 against AFC West opponents. 6 of the last 10 games between the Chargers and Kansas City have gone over the total. The over is sitting at 54.5. Bet that, and I'm taking the Chargers and the points on the road for 50. Atlanta Falcons and New York Giants. Hate this game. Hate the Falcons. Can't stand the Giants. It's so annoying. I have to bet it. I'm taking the Falcons on the road +3 for 50. I hate this game. Atlanta is 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games as a road underdog. The Falcons are 6-1 against the spread against an opponent that just lost straight up the previous week. Atlanta's 13-17-1 after losing by 20 or more points. Every time I see that against the spread, I know I was on the opposite side of whatever Atlanta was doing. The Giants are 18-7-1 in the last 26 games against a team with a losing record. The Giants are also 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games against NFC opponents. The Giants are 10-1-1 in their last 12 games after playing on Thursday. Oh boy, oh boy. Do I need to switch this bet? No, I'm taking the road. I'm taking the Falcons on the road. +3, I'm sticking with it 50. I wrote it down. I got to stick with it. Here's a game I love. Chicago Bears at Cleveland Browns. Some got the Bears at 7, some at 7.5. Elite Sportsbooks got it at 7. I got a sheet in front of me that says 7 as well. Wait till right before kickoff for this game. You'll probably get a lot more people that are betting the Browns. They're the darlings, but they're really not that good. Justin Fields has been officially named the starter for the Bears. There's all kinds of things going out there. You really think about last week. That's Andy Dalton's game plan that they're doing that Justin Fields had to run. Now they've got all week to run a game plan for Justin Fields. You don't tell me you think Matt Nagy's got like 3 or 4 extra plays for Fields now? Absolutely does. The Bears are 1-1 straight up and covered for a lot late bettors last week in the win over the Bengals. They did not come close to covering week 1. The Browns did cover in week 1 against the Chiefs. They were dogs, but never got outside the number in week 2 as a big favorite against the Texans. Some trends. Chicago is 2-6 against the spread in the last 8 games as an underdog. The Bears are just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games on the road. Cleveland is 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games as a home favorite. The Browns are 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 games against the NFC North. The Browns are 2-13 against the spread in their last 15 games against a team allowing fewer than 3.75 yards per carry. The Bears' defense is good. I'm not sold on Baker Mayfield. I love the Bears in this situation. I'm taking the points on the road, and I'm doing it for 100. The Bengals at the Steelers. Who knows what the health is for Big Ben? Their offensive line is in trouble. Steelers are favored in this game, and they should be. I'm looking at it at -3. I do not know at all what to think about the Bengals either. Burrows, those 3 interceptions and back-to-back possessions kind of hurt. But they didn't cover against the Bears. They did win outright and covered in week 1. Both teams are tied for first in the AFC North, and they all have the same record as Cleveland and Baltimore. Cincinnati is 16-7-2 against the spread in their last 25 road games in September. The Bengals are just 9-20 against the spread against Mike Tomlin as the head coach of the Steelers. That hurts. They are 4-14 against the spread in games played in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 as a favorite, 0-4 against the spread as a home favorite in that span. The Steelers are 52-42-6 against the spread in their last 100 games against the AFC North. Bet the under, and I'm taking Cincinnati Bengals +3 for 50, meaning I'm not too sure about it. Raiders, Dolphins, this is 4. I've also got it at 4.5 some spots, and our friends at Elite Sportsbook, 4 as well. This probably should be bet up now that even though Derek Carr remains questionable, Tua is going to be out. Jacoby Brissett's going to be in for this week's game. The line did adjust for that after the Raiders scored an impressive win over the weekend over the Steelers, and the Dolphins got beat up by the Bills. So their look-ahead line had this pretty much almost a pick-em. Miami is 1-1 straight up and against the spread. The Raiders are 2-0 straight up and against the spread. So they'll be favored for the first time this season in this game. Miami's 6-0 against the spread in the last 6 games following a straight-up loss. The Dolphins are 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games as an underdog. The Dolphins have gone just 3-11-1 against the spread in their last 15 after losing by 20 or more points. The last 7 road games in September for Miami have all gone over. The Raiders are 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 games as a favorite. Keep that in mind. Their first time being favored is this game. The Raiders are 9-6 against the spread in their last 15 games against the AFC. And the over is 5-0 in the Raiders' last 5 home games. And the over is 7-1 in the last 8 games in the AFC. All right, we're going to take a look more of those games. Oh, and I got the Raiders for 100 minus 4.5. Love the Raiders in this situation. Love that they're going to go 3-0. Love it for the organization. Love it for something that we can talk about, Raider Nation. It's always good when you have that going on. We're going to take a break. When I come back, we're going to do the rest of the trends and my bets here on ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle for local.
We're streaking. We're going up through the quad to the gymnasium. There's more coming.
Frank, get in the car.
Everybody's doing it.
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Adam Rosso from Hawkeye Headquarters, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Highland Toyota, the ultimate car, truck, and SUV buying experience. Buy with confidence and choose from hundreds of new Toyotas, including hybrids, 4x4s, and all-wheel drive vehicles. Plus, see our tremendous pre-owned selection for every budget. Enjoy deep, deep discounts, big factory incentives, and great financing rates. No payments for 90 days on all certified Toyotas. And with your good credit, buy with no money down. See our lowest prices posted. Sell us your vehicle and we'll pay top dollar cash. Highland Toyota helps good people with bad credit. Need to rent a car? We rent Toyotas with low daily rates. Highland Toyota will deliver to your home or work. Ready for service? Keep your Toyota in top condition at Highland Toyota's friendly service department with numerous service bays and highly trained certified service professionals, plus a huge parts inventory. People throughout the Quad Cities have trusted Highland Toyota for over half a century on John Deere Road and 53rd Street, Moline, or HighlandToyota.com.
Football, tennis, cross country, golf, soccer, volleyball, water polo. Fall sports are back at Augustana College, and the best way to watch sports is with all your friends, alumni, and fans of the men's and women's teams of the Augustana Vikings. Kickoffs and season openers are afoot as the stars of Augustana College take to the field, the courses, and court of the Carver Center and lace up those shoes for an amazing season that we've all been waiting for. Check complete fall schedules at augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front row seat to big-time small college sports.
What's your car's monthly payment? There's a good chance that First Midwest Bank can lower it. Just like refinancing a mortgage, First Midwest Bank can refinance your auto loan too. That means lower payments, lower interest rates, and higher monthly savings. Plus, you can wait up to 60 days to make your first payment. Go to firstmidwest.com/auto-refi to apply and drive down your car payments today. Member FDIC, subject to credit approval, vehicle insurance required.
The biggest game of Week 3 is the Monday night matchup between Philly and Dallas. And FanDuel Sportsbook is about to make it even bigger because FanDuel is giving new customers 30-1 odds on either team to win. That means you can end the NFL week right by winning $150 on a $5 bet. I'm always winning on my parlays. I'm taking Dallas on the money line and home total points over in the first half and away total points under in the first half. Offers like this are just one of the many reasons I love betting the NFL on FanDuel. It's always easy to use, safe and secure, with fast payouts. FanDuel is sports betting made simple, and they're always hooking you up with great offers. Plus, when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 24 hours. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Just sign up with promo code Trevor this week before Dallas takes on Philadelphia. You could win $150 on a $5 bet. Remember to use promo code Trevor so they know I sent you. Exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. 21 plus and present in Iowa. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz with the NFL Network now on Westwood One Radio Network. Sam Darnold and the Panthers are still perfect. Carolina improved to 3-0 with a 24-9 win over the Texans. Darnold now with back-to-back 300-yard games also ran for a pair of touchdowns. But there is concern in Carolina. Christian McCaffrey strained his hamstring early in the second quarter and was unable to return. Here's Darnold on his star running back.
We'll be all right, without him. Obviously, we want him back, but I want him to take his time right now and make sure he's good for the end of the season.
The Panthers also lost first-rounder J.C. Horn to a broken foot. Elsewhere, Tom Brady's personal trainer, Alex Guerrero, said Bill Belichick, quote, never evolved in how he treated the star QB, a factor that contributed to Brady's departure after 20 seasons in New England. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
My grand opening is tomorrow. Can I get custom posters printed today?
It's possible with Staples Connect.
I need to promote my new curbside pickup service.
Also possible. Staples Connect can help your business grow with custom printed sales and marketing materials. Now get 20% off signs, banners, or posters when you spend $75 or more. Explore what's new at your local Staples. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. Ends 10/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/signage for details.
This big noon Saturday on Fox, Notre Dame takes on Wisconsin live in Chicago. Former Badgers quarterback Jack Cohn leads the Irish into a Windy City showdown against Graham Mertz and Wisconsin. It all starts at 10 Eastern with the Big Noon Kickoff pregame crew live from Soldier Field, counting you down to the Big Noon game of the week. And then it's Notre Dame, Wisconsin. Saturday at noon Eastern on Fox, and watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app.
Hey, yo. We're back. ESPN 1170 AM going into the last half hour, hour number 2. Thanks to Adam for calling in the first hour. You guys can always call in here, too, by the way. 391-3776, 563 area code. Talk to me. Tell me I'm crazy, that you don't believe my picks or anything like that. I don't care. I know Erickson's on the Facebook comment thread telling me that Browns cover easily in that game. I don't believe so. I think the Bears go in. And I might even like to throw them in a little money line parlay. I like the Bears in that game. Okay. Going on to the other games. New York Jets at the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos were my survivor pick this week, by the way, just to let you guys know. It's a home opener for Denver. The Broncos are 18-3 straight up in their last 21 home openers. But let's pay attention more about the double digits because it's minus 10.5. I got it at 10 on my sheet. Elite Sportsbook has it as... Is it changed? Let's see here. Where are you at? Minus 10.5 at Elite Sportsbook as well. Still like it at 10.5. The Jets are 0-2 straight up and against the spread and have been outscored 44-20 in the process. The Broncos are one of 2 AFC teams 2-0. And they've covered in both those wins. Didn't play anybody that's worth anything, but hey, they look good. Vic Fangio's 3rd year at the helm, and the defense is moving right now. Jets are 2-7 against the spread in their last 9 road games. They're also 9-30-3 against the spread in their last 42 games against an opponent averaging more than 4.4 yards per carry. The Jets are 1-9 against the spread in their last 9 road games against AFC West opponents. New York is also 16-4 in their last 26 games with travel of 1,000 miles or more. The under is 8-1 in the last 9 for the Jets against a team with a winning record. Denver, on the other hand, is 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 as a favorite, but are just 17-31 at home in their last 49 games against a team averaging more than 16.6 yards per point. That's a mute point. Denver 7-3 to the under in the last 10, 5-2 to the under. Bet the under. Bet the Broncos. I'm hammering it for 100 at minus 10, even at minus 10.5. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Los Angeles Rams. We talked to Adam in the first hour. We talked about how this is a game that we're going to be watching. This is a game that I think Tom Brady really wants to win because I think he wants to go undefeated into Foxborough next week. Tampa Bay is 11-2-2 against the spread in their last 15 Sunday games. The Buccaneers are 8-2 in their last 10 on the road against a team with a winning percentage of 80% or higher. The Bucs are 5-1-1 in the last 7 games against an opponent that averaged at least 24 points per game. Tampa Bay is 11-4 to the over in the last 15 road games against an NFC opponent, and 19-6 to the over in their last 25 road Sunday games. We said we love the over at 55 in this game. The Rams are 11-2 against the spread immediately after an against the spread loss. The Rams are 0-7-1 in the last 8 games as a home underdog. Ew. I do not like that at all. So this will be the game of the week in the NFL. It's going to create a lot of buzz for eyeballs and for the betting handle. Tampa Bay did win easily against the Falcons last week, but they did not cover and almost failed to win in week 1 against Dallas. Depending on where you had the Rams last week, you either lost or you pushed against the Colts. They're 2-0. The Rams are 2-0 in the season. They covered against the Bears. And either you They didn't, depending on what the number you had the week before. The look-ahead line, the Rams did open up as a favorite here, but it was short-lived, so it's been moved. So we're saying that the money's going there. If I'm looking at a sheet right now, over 70% of the money is going towards over 70% of the money is going towards Tampa Bay. 80% of the tickets being sold are going towards Tampa Bay. I'm going to go contrarian here. I'm going to take the home dog. I'm going to take the Rams at +1.5. Good luck to everybody playing. I wish you the best. Love this game. Seattle Seahawks at the Minnesota Vikings. I do not like Mike Zimmer, but I'm big on this Vikings team. That being said, I'm taking the points, the home dog, and I'm taking the Vikings at -1 at +1.5. Our friends at Elite Sportsbook, they have it at. Let's see if anything's changed from what I did. Oh, we're gonna get that little pinwheel on my thing. All right, there we go. Okay, I got still at +1.5. Seahawks suffered a tough loss last week against the Titans. Now they have to travel about 2/3 of the way across the country in hopes of getting a bounce-back win. For the second straight week, the Vikings suffered a devastating loss, so they'll try to avoid falling to 0-3 and then killing their shot at the playoffs. They win this game, I still think the Vikings have an outside shot of winning the division and making the playoffs, but they got to win this game. Seattle won and covered in Week 1 against Indianapolis, but did not win and cover against Tennessee. The Vikings have not covered yet in 2 tries. This does look like a little bit of a sharp versus public here. And we are seeing a little bit of more of the money coming in on the Vikings, but the tickets are going opposite. So, yes, there's a sharp versus public pushback here. Seattle's 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games against the team with a losing record. The Seahawks are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games as a road favorite. Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson in their last 15 games are only 5-10 against the spread. The Vikings are just 1-8 against the spread in their last 9 games. However, they're 12-3 against the spread in the last 15 after a close loss of 3 or fewer points. The Vikings are 19-6 in the last 25 games at home against teams scoring 25 or more points per game, and Minnesota's 8-2 against the spread in the last 10 games as a home underdog of 7 or fewer points. 8-2 against the spread as a home underdog of 7 or fewer points. Like the Vikings here, it's a must-win. They got to have it. I'm taking the Vikings for 100 here. Green Bay Packers at San Francisco 49ers. The Halloween Kid is coming to California, and it does not look good for him. They did do what they needed to do on Monday Night Football, and it was all about the second half for the Packers. But it never really was breaking too much of a sweat, it looked like, for them. I think their defense really did some things, and it exposed the Lions. So they're back to 500, straight up and against the spread after that horrible Week 1. The 49ers let the Lions in the back door in Week 1, but slammed it shut for the Eagles in Week 2. San Francisco's 2-0 and 1-1 against the spread going into the Sunday Night Football against the Packers. Let's take a look at some of the trends. Green Bay is 11-5 against the spread in the last 16 games against a team with a winning record. The Packers are 18-7-1, playing on less than 6 days rest in their last 26 games in that role. The Packers are 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 road games against NFC foes. Green Bay is 120, 86-6 against the spread all time with Aaron Rodgers as the starting quarterback. The 49ers are 9-16 against the spread in their last 25 as a favorite of 7 or fewer points. I like the 49ers here. Typically, Aaron Rodgers does not play well against the 49ers. If you go back to that playoff game that they had, I think Mostard is still running all over the Packers. Packers do not have a very good run defense. I like the 49ers in this situation. I think the public is going to be backing the Packers. It's 3 points. I like it here because worst case scenario, I'm going to get a push. The San Francisco 49ers win by 3. Over almost 80% of the tickets that are being sold are on the Packers. Getting points on the road. Everyone thinks the Packers are back. I do not. Can't wait to see his Halloween costume, though. Good for him. Monday Night Football. The Philadelphia Eagles at Dallas Cowboys. This is at Cowboys -3.5. Over-unders at 51.5. So this is the NFC East foes, also known as the NFC Least. Rivalry is going to be started back up for this season on Monday Night Football. And so Dallas has covered twice and could very well be 2-0 after a strong showing against the Buccaneers in Week 1, but they're not. So they're 2-0 against the spread, 1-1 straight up. Dallas has played Tampa Bay and the Chargers, two teams that we considered elite. Didn't have too much to say about Philadelphia outside of, hey, we got to see what their offense and defensive line is going to give us, and right now it looks good. Eagles had a blowout win in the Battle of the Birds against the Falcons, but then came up short against the 49ers, scoring only 11 points in the process. Philadelphia is 1-1 and in a three-way tie in the NFC East, so it's a big tiebreaker game for the winner. Eagles are 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 road games. Philadelphia is 31-19 against the spread in the last 50 road games against an opponent with more than 6 days rest. The Eagles are 40-27-1 in the last 68 on the road against the NFC East, and the under is 8-2 in Philadelphia's last 10 games as an underdog of 7 or fewer points. Dallas is on a little run of their own, though. They're on a 5-1 against the spread run overall, but has gone just 1-7 against the spread in the last 8 as a favorite. Ooh. The Cowboys are also 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 as a favorite of 7 or fewer. And the Cowboys are 2-12 against the spread in their last 12 Monday night football games at home. Hammer and the Eagles are road dogs plus 3.5 for 50. So there you have it. The 150s for the week. I got Carolina last night, but I didn't get to tell you guys because I got bumped over the week. So that was for 100. I took the Cardinals for 50 minus 7.5. I took the Falcons for 50 plus 3 on the road against the Giants. Took the Ravens on the road minus 8 against the Lions. I'm telling you to hammer that right now. I've got the Bears on the road as road dogs. They're getting 7 at Cleveland. Bengals road dogs for 50 against the Steelers. They're plus 3. The Titans for 100 at home, favored against the Colts, minus 5. Some of them are minus 5.5. Some have been pushed up to minus 6. The Chargers on the road against the Chiefs at plus 6.5 for 50. Patriots at home against the Saints. The Patriots are minus 3. The Bills at home minus 7.5 against the Washington football team. I like you, Taylor Heineke, but realistically, it's Taylor Heineke. Raiders at home minus 4.5 against the Dolphins for 100. The Broncos at home against the Jets minus 10 for 100. The Vikings getting points 1.5 against Seahawks for 100. Rams plus 1.5 at home for 50. 49ers minus 3 for 100 against the Packers. And the Monday Night Football game, I got the Eagles plus 3.5 against the Dallas Cowboys. All right, got to take a quick break. When we come back, we got to wrap up our day. Recap everything we talked about and more here on ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us, we're local.
This is Coach A.C. Earl. Don't hassle us, we're local.
High prices don't get you a great network. A great network gets you a great network. It's why Total Wireless runs on the largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. And for a limited time, we're doubling your high-speed data on our $35 unlimited plan from 5 gigs to 10. So you can double your binging, your scrolling, your everything. Total Wireless. Do amazing. Available at Total Wireless stores. Capable device and SIM required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. Offer ends 12/31/2021. First 10 gigs at high speed, then 2G. Terms and conditions at TotalWireless.com/terms.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is...
It's pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Hey Quad Cities, this is Kim from Berry Global, a Fortune 400 packaging company. I have some exciting news. We are hiring technical and entry-level employees at our injection molding facility right here in Bettendorf. Berry offers an impressive benefits package which includes medical, dental, vision, 401k match, company-paid life and disability insurances, along with competitive wages and profit-sharing bonus. If being a part of an awesome team interests you, visit berryglobal.com to apply. That is BERRYGLOBAL.com. BERRY global.com. Still looking for more information about Barry? Just say, Alexa, tell me about Barry Global.
From lines of credit in Chicagoland to equipment finance loans in the Quad Cities to better cash flow in Milwaukee, First Midwest Bank is committed to using our local knowledge and ideas to help our clients get their business momentum back. Visit firstmidwest.com/commercial-lending. You have plans, we have ideas. First Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Fall deals are going on now at Tyson's. Now is the best time to plant grass seed, and we have you covered with Scott's Grass Seed and Spreaders on sale now. Make fall cleanup a breeze with a DeWalt outdoor power tool. Tyson's has a great selection of chainsaws, trimmers, blowers, and more. Bring in your old denim and receive a $10 coupon off a new pair of Wrangler jeans. All of these hot deals and more going on now through September 26th. Shop in-store or online today at Tysons.com. Tyson's. Home, farm, auto.
I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz with the NFL Network now on Westwood One Radio Network. Sam Darnold and the Panthers are still perfect. Carolina improved to 3-0 with a 24-9 win over the Texans. Darnold now with back-to-back 300-yard games also ran for a pair of touchdowns. But there is concern in Carolina. Christian McCaffrey strained his hamstring early in the second quarter and was unable to return. Here's Darnold on his star running back.
We'll be all right, without him. Obviously, we want him back, but I want him to take his time right now and make sure he's good for the end of the season.
The Panthers also lost first-rounder J.C. Horn to a broken foot. Elsewhere, Tom Brady's personal trainer, Alex Guerrero, said Bill Belichick, quote, never evolved in how he treated the star QB, a factor that contributed to Brady's departure after 20 seasons in New England. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
My grand opening is tomorrow. Can I get custom posters printed today?
It's possible with Staples Connect.
I need to promote my new curbside pickup service.
Also possible. Staples Connect can help your business grow with custom printed sales and marketing materials. Now get 20% off signs, banners, or posters when you spend $75 or more. Explore what's new at your local Staples. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. Ends 10/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/signage for details.
This big noon Saturday on Fox. Notre Dame takes on Wisconsin live in Chicago. Former Badgers quarterback Jack Cohn leads the Irish into a Windy City showdown against Graham Mertz and Wisconsin. It all starts at 10 Eastern with the Big Noon Kickoff pregame crew live from Soldier Field, counting you down to the Big Noon game of the week. And then it's Notre Dame, Wisconsin. Saturday at noon Eastern on Fox, and watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app.
Follow us on Facebook at ESPN 1170 AM. We are the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170. Break it down.
All right, we're back. Don't Hassle us for local here, ESPN 1170 AM. I want to thank everybody for keeping me company today while I was in the Hassle Castle all by my lonesome. Don't feel bad for me. Don't cry for me, Argentina, all that stuff. Thanks to Adam for calling in the first hour. We got a good conversation there talking about, Aaron Rodgers playing dress up and all the other good stuff that's going on. We talked a little bit about the football games coming up and the Iowa game as well against Colorado State. It's going to be tomorrow kicking off. Iowa's looking to go 3-0 on the year, and then looking forward to their Friday night game that'll be against Maryland. I want to remind you that Friday night game there'll be a big Hawkeye gathering at the R Bar in Davenport on Utica. They're going to have the MPX mobile party experience out there, so the TVs will be outside as well. Doug Brundy's will be playing from 3 to 6 that day, and they'll have a food truck going on, and it's just a great atmosphere. Good dudes. They were here last Monday. We'll be off this Monday because the White Sox play. I think it's going to be our last time that the White Sox interrupt us, and we'll see what happens when it comes to playoffs. So, but maybe on Tuesday we can get the Twins in again so we can talk about what's going on with the mobile party experience on that Friday night Iowa-Maryland game. But Iowa needs to win this weekend first, and Maryland's playing Kent State, so there's a game that I did give you guys that maybe you want to be taking Kent State because Maryland might be in a little bit of a trap game situation there. Just some things to look into that's going on. We also we looked at some of the trends going on gambling-wise, and I gave you the 150s, whatnot, how I'm going this weekend, what I like. There'll be some things there'll be some teasers here and there. If you're looking for some teasers, I would look to the Ravens and the Bills. Move them down a little bit. You can do anywhere from 6 to 7 points. If you do a 3-team, you can sometimes get a 10-point teaser. Move the odds, though. Pay attention to those odds. I do like the Cardinals as well. So a 3-teamer I would be looking at in the afternoon game and in the morning games. I think the Bills are, in the morning as well. Well, I can look it up. It's right in front of me here, Late Sportsbook. Let's see, my noon games. Yeah, so Arizona tease them down. If you do 7 points, 7-point teaser, 3-teamer, you move that down to a half a point, so they just got to win. The Bills would go down to minus half a point. They just got to win by 1. And then you take the Ravens, and you move them down to just -1, and I think you have yourself a nice little teaser there. So, yeah, you move them down to -1. So that's a nice little teaser. You can usually get that at like -110. It's probably more than that if it's just 7. If it's 10 points, it's probably -110. So if you're only moving at 7 points, you should be getting a nice return on your investment there, and that's what we're always looking for, that ROI. Okay, it's been a weird week. Bookend with the show. In between, we were interrupted by the White Sox. It's fun to come in here. Rarely do I like to do these shows alone. I do appreciate Adam calling in, but felt good about the show today. I liked talking to you guys. I had like 2 little rants. Obviously the beginning was the big news about out of the University of Iowa that they're going to start a women's wrestling program, the first Power 5 school to do so. They'll be starting as early as 2023. That their season is. A lot of good quotes out there from brands. And then the other thing was just more, and I got more news about, the streaming of watching high school sports. It seems to be that our friends from QC Sportsnet are not allowed to do the Bettendorf Davenport Central game. And apparently on their social media site, when they said, hey, we're not going to be on it, apparently someone posted a link that for the Davenport Central is hooked up with the NFHS Sports Network, and they're trying to sell subscriptions. So he turned down all broadcasts except for, and then posted a link. Someone posted a link on the QC Sportsnet site, and that they could link up to watch it, and which is kind of rude. I'm going to pull, before I go, I'm going to pull this up. They say, Bettner fans, it greatly saddens us to announce that Davenport Central will not let us do our planned live play-by-play of Friday's game versus the Bulldogs. Despite our best efforts to work something out, Central is refusing to allow any broadcaster to carry its home games. There were some comments. Let's see here. Oh, let me see them all. Let's see. Davenport fans, why the heck not? What's the reason? I sure can't think of one. Davenport fans would like that as well. It's already being broadcast on another one mentioned by our AD below. Oh, it's the AD wrote it. Did he take it down? Why don't I see it? Most relevant is selected. Some comments have been filtered. I don't want most relevant. I'm sure you guys like this when I'm saying this stuff. There it is. But don't worry, Bettner fans. You can watch NFHS Network. Here is the link. You go to the link. Let's find out. I guess this is one way to make up for the gate. It's not even coming up. Did he post a bad link? It's completely blank. All right, well, you guys figured out. Like I said when I went on the rant, it's not like for lack of effort. People in this area are trying to do things to broadcast to highlight the student athletes. And as you can see, the administration is most of the time just trying to figure out how to make it more about a bottom line and not do something that's local that'll do things. All right, here it is. So it says here, so it's 5 hours, 5 minutes. It says subscribe to watch. With the high school support program, we share a portion of every annual subscription with your favorite school. So basically, you do this, you sign up, they send money to the Davenport Central. So that's why he shut down the local thing, the broadcast that's only on, you listen to it online. And they did it because a portion of sales go to Davenport Central. So, hey, Whoever's doing for the NFHS, they're doing a good job. They got in last year with North Scott. They're in now with Bettendorf, and I don't know if anyone local's calling the game, but I will tell you this. Local media wants to support local athletics, especially young student athletes. Doesn't really sound like local athletic administrators want to support local media. But yet, they get mad at if they're not the first thing that goes on the highlight zone, the first school, they'll let you know. Or they'll be the one to keep you out of a locker room if they don't really like, if you don't push them in the greatest light. So they'll ban you, but they don't, they'll let you know if you're not covering them the right way, but then they don't want you to do coverage unless they're making $1 off of it. Just keep that in mind. All right, folks, I'm out for the day. You guys enjoy yourself. Have a great weekend. Good luck to the Hawkeyes. Good luck to the Cyclones. Good luck to the Illini. And we will see you guys on Tuesday. No show on Monday. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities. Peace. Stay safe and sanitized.
Your quarterback, but still, no matter who's back there throwing the football, that guy's going to be under siege because that offensive line.